Hey Rachel, so I'm teaching a soccer unit in my class and I'm having some trouble. I have some really good students and some not so good students and I don't know what to do about it.
Have you ever heard of differentiation?
No, what's that?
Differentiation is a framework that provides students different ways to develop their skills and learn different tasks. There's many different ways.
That sounds awesome. How can I implement differentiation into my class?
Well, there's one way called teaching by invitation. This is where the teacher goes in and lets the students choose what task and what equipment they want to use.
Cool. Good afternoon, class. Today we're going to be playing some soccer. As you can see, we have a variety of different balls that you can use. This one's a little softer and lighter. This one's soft but a little heavier. This one's more firm but still light. And this one's really bouncy like a garage ball. Any questions? Yes, Jen.
Can I use any of these?
You sure can.
Wow, that's awesome!
Wow, Rachel, TBI works great in my class, but I found that sometimes students weren't challenging themselves enough and just kind of slacking off. What do I do about that?
Well, another method is called ITV, inter-task variation. This is when the teacher goes in and controls the task, making it easier or harder.
Interesting. How could I use ITV in my class? Yeah, it seems like you're having a little bit of trouble with the bouncing ball. How about you try this one so it doesn't bounce?
Okay.
That looks so much better. Rachel, how can I differentiate with ITV other than using equipment?
Well, we actually have a thing called the STEP program, S-T-T-E-P. The S in STEP is for space. This is when the teacher alters the space of a task to make it easier or more difficult.
Jen, how about you take 3 steps closer? It seems like you're having a little bit of trouble from that distance. Here, you'll have more success from there. Okay, thanks. And time.
One of the T's in the STEP program is for time. This is when the teacher alters the time of the task to make it more challenging or less difficult.
Okay, Jen, let's see how many touches you can get in 30 seconds now. Go!
The other T in the STEP program is for task. This is when the teacher alters the task to make it more challenging or less difficult.
Jen, it looks like you're having a lot of success shooting through it. How about you try some left-footed shots?
Okay. The E in the STEP program is for equipment. This is when the teacher changes the equipment to make the task easier or more difficult.
Okay, class, as we showed you before, you can change up your balls to make the task easier or difficult for you. You can also change up the size of the net to make it bigger or smaller. Cool.
The P in the STEP program is for people. This is when the teacher adds or removes students to make the task easier or harder.
Brian, why don't you come over here and play defense on Jen?
Yeah, come on, Brian. Inter-task variation can be used with individuals or groups, but never with the whole class.
Individuals like Jen or groups like Jen and Brian.
And remember, the STEP principle can also be applied to teaching by invitation. Students can choose if they want to work in a pair, and by themselves, or in a group. They can choose what kind of ball they want, and so on.